Are you sure this thing is there? Lunch is done Wednesday. Not that's a repeat. It's not a repeat. It's a repeat. This one. This one is not a repeat. Mbaikata au weekend? Weekend nikaka nuguka kwa harusi. Wow. Wakanga. Weekend. Okay. Weekend. Usa. Hey.
Oh. Hello. 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 Hello, members.
Hi, how are you? Yeah.
Can we start?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. Get ready. Get papers.
Yeah, we are ready.
Get notebooks. Get papers. We start.
Okay. Yeah.
Mary Chotundi.
Yes.
We are waiting for other members.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are starting. Asime Viola.
Present.
Edina.
Present.
So how many are we really? I just see 6 people. How many are we? Did you invite your colleagues?
Yeah, they are coming.
So really, we are using data. They should keep time. They are not aware.
They are aware. They're still doing some things, I think. But they
So
are coming.
they will find us on the way probably. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we get that document? I sent a handout. Did you receive the handout?
No. Yeah, we received it.
So I expect you to read through it because I don't think we shall have time to cover the whole of it, but once we have the basics, we shall be able to pop up. Clear?
Yeah.
So we have enough time. I expect you to sit down and read page by page because now online really, we shall not get enough time to exhaust the whole of it. But once we have the basics, I hope that we can make it really. I'm also going to prepare revision questions so that now they will enable us to move on, go through it, because at the end of the day, we are going to be examined. We are paying fees, and we are doing everything normally like classwork, like how we've been running the semester. So we shall have tests, we shall have coursework, and finally an exam to complete our course. Together?
Okay.
So you have to respond. Yeah, you have to keep responding so that I get feedback because internet is not clear. If you don't respond, I would think I've lost internet probably. So
Okay.
Keep responding so that we know that we are online. Since we are not facing each other. So prepare yourself. Today I want us to start with maybe for those ones who were not here last time. Last Tuesday we had a class. Maybe let's go back. Let's go back and see. Let's go back to our chapter 1, probably, and see who is an auditor. Last time we defined 3 keywords that comprise auditing. I said that we have what we call an audit. The words are different. We have what we call an audit, which is specifically the examination of the books of accounts. Why do we do that? Hopefully we've done accounting 1. We've done maybe intermediate accounting. So we hope that you can still now join an audit team and do the audit work, because we cannot teach you auditing when you've not done accounting. So if anyone is in our group and has not done accounting, you're in a wrong group, or you're in a wrong class, because this is a class of accountants. It's only accountants who can audit. Are we together? So only accountants can do auditing. Yeah. So if you've missed accounting, financial accounting 1, intermediate accounting, then when we come to auditing, it becomes a bit funny. It will be hectic for you. So let's see who is an audit. Probably an audit is just an exercise. So I think you've come across these words in your handout. If probably you're reading it, you've come across these words. So when we are doing an audit, basically, we are doing examination of the books of accounts. So we know the books of accounts, we've looked at those basically, the balance sheets, the income statements, the cash flow statements, the journals, trial balances, ledgers. So those are the books of accounts we expect you to examine as an auditor. So for example, if I want to see the financial position of the firm, financial position of the firm, or if I want to look at the liquidity of the firm as an auditor. So in that case now, I must audit a balance sheet. We know what comprises a balance sheet, assets and liabilities in that case. So if you want to see the financial state of a business or any other company, the book you examine or the financial report you examine is a balance sheet. So if you move into the details, if you're reading your handout, you find what you call balance sheet audit. Specifically, you're auditing assets and liabilities. If they are motor vehicles, if they are computers, if it is furniture, if it is cash, if it is stock, if they are loans, that is a balance sheet audit now. Then if you're auditing an income statement, because it is also a financial report, it is also a book of account, So what do we expect you to audit in an income statement? Probably. You must check the expenses, look at the expenses, look at the incomes, look how they've done the taxes, so that at the end of the day, you can determine the profits and losses of the company. So that is what we call examination of the books of accounts. That is what we call an audit. An audit is an exercise. You're going through the books of accounting, or you're going through accounts documents, probably. So that is what we call an audit. Besides an audit, because we are saying it is an exercise, there is also what we call an auditor. Is what we call an auditor. So in this case now, this could be a firm like Ernst & Young, that is an audit firm. That is a team of auditors. They've come together under a company. They are together now. They work as a team. Like how you see lawyers. Maybe, for example, Rupagwand Advocate Firm. That is a team of lawyers. But now, if it is Ernst & Young, we know it as a team of auditors. So it could be a firm, it could be an individual. That's how we define an auditor. I went through this last time, but I'm just going back for those who missed so that we move together. So it could be either a person or it could either be a firm. But now, if it is a firm or if it is a person, we expect you to examine the books of accounts. So probably an auditor is an independent person or an independent firm who examines the books of accounts and gives an opinion at the end of the day and writes a report. There is what we call an auditor's report. If you've read your handout, inside there is an auditor's report. So once you finish the audit exercise, we expect you to write a report as an auditor. Whoever has appointed you, maybe shareholders or directors. Then thirdly, we had the word auditing. So auditing itself is a process also. It is a process. We define it as application of auditing principles and methods that may be considered necessary by an auditor. Auditing may be, okay, probably it is an examination of financial statements covering a transaction or of a period of time. It could be a financial year, because we don't expect you to audit 2 financial years. So when you're going to do auditing, we expect you to specify the date and also the time, because audits are different. Like how we defined last time, we said that audits have different classifications. We classify them differently. So that is the background. Those keywords are inside your notes, so you must examine them clearly. Then we went ahead to look at the objectives of an audit. Objectives of auditing. Why must you audit? So we said that both we have primary objectives and we have secondary objectives. Why we do the audit work, probably. So the major objective of an auditor is to look, actually the obligation he has is to prove the truthfulness. You prove the truthfulness and fairness of the financial statements. That is your major objective as an auditor. So we expect you to give us the facts about the financial position of the firm. That is your major objective. So we don't expect lies, but we expect truthfulness out of you. Then another objective could be to confirm that the proper books of accounts are being kept by your client. Because a person who gives us an audit work is our client. So once you enter into his premises to do the audit, books of accounts have been prepared according to accounting principles. Remember, we've looked at accounting principles. Auditing is also part of accounting, because you cannot audit when you cannot account. So if you're not an accountant, probably you may fail to do audit. So major primary objective is to make sure that your client is according to the the standards, findings as do, then you just move out without any report. So once you do auditing, we expect you to end up with a report, auditor's report, together with your opinion. You must give an opinion according to the audit exercise. Then besides that, we also have secondary objectives. Secondary objectives. Being secondary means that they are minor. They are minor, and still, if we are doing auditing somewhere in your handout, you're going to find internal auditors and external auditors, or private auditors and statutory auditors. So if we have internal auditors, we expect them to have done these secondary duties. So once you come in as an external auditor, we expect you to look at them as secondary. They are minor to you. However, they are important. So among the secondary objectives now, we expect you as an auditor to detect errors and fraud. Detect errors and fraud. They are basically accounting errors. Outside accounting errors, they are not errors. You remember accounting errors? Errors of principal, errors of omission, errors of double entry, errors of commission. Those are the errors we expect you to look at as an auditor. So any error outside that, it is not part of us. It is not part of our auditing exercise. It is outside the scope of our work. Also, we expect you to detect fraud. Fraud, what is fraud now? If you call it an error, for example, if we are talking of errors, errors are mistakes. They could be intentional or unintentional. So if they are not intentional, then they also have types now. They also have types. We have what we call tolerable errors, expected errors. So not all that we have in the handout is enough. Some things are not there. So that's why I'm telling you, maybe God willing, when we come together, we shall fill the gap. But now you must get the basics. You must get the basics so that you go to another level. I wanted to tell you what an error is, an error or a fraud. I wanted to define for you what we call fraud in accounting. Okay, where is it? If it is a fraud, basically, we do it intentionally. You are aware of it. It is done intentionally. For example, embezzlement of cash, you do it intentionally. You know that what you're doing is wrong. So we call that a fraud. Then there's also what we call misappropriation of goods. For example, if the cow, the chief executive officer takes laptops meant for the district and he takes them to his house for his daughters, we call that misappropriation of goods. We call it misappropriation of goods. And now, if you're misappropriating goods, we call it fraud in accounting. It is fraud. Then once it is fraud, once you're doing your exercise, we expect you to detect fraud. Detect fraud. So that's why normally people are scared of auditors, because they have many mistakes inside there. Actually, they are not mistakes. A mistake is an error in accounting. So it could either be intentional or non-intentional. So we expect you to trace for errors and frauds, detect errors and frauds. That is your primary objective. Then also prevent errors and fraud, prevent them. And also assist your client to improve on their accounting systems. If at all they are not preparing the books in the way they are supposed to do it, procedures like them, improve on their system. And there is also what you call an internal control system. We are going to look at it in its details. Check whether the internal control system of your client is working properly or not. So those are the secondary objectives of auditing. Those are the purposes why you should audit majorly. The rest will just come in, but these are the major objectives of doing the audit exercise. So I think errors and fraud are missing in your handout. Have you checked your handout? Or you've not read through? Can I get response? Members? Are we still together?
Yeah.
Please respond. Yeah, respond. Don't leave me hanging. So have you checked errors and fraud? Are they in your handout? No,
Not there.
yeah, they are not there. But now that's why I expect you to have a notebook and a pen, so that whatever is missing, you fill the gap. Okay. So why must we do auditing? Why must we do audit? What are the advantages? What are the advantages? Why should we do auditing? Probably because under normal circumstances, auditing is very expensive. You're going to pay these people, they are paid and they are paid expensively. But now, what is the benefit? Why should we audit our accounts? So first of all, you must audit your accounts trace for errors and fraud. Depending on the volumes of your transactions. If the business is too large, you don't need to wait for the end of the financial year. You need to keep auditing your financial books or your books of accounts. You keep auditing so that you minimize on errors and fraud. And secondly, also, we do auditing to protect the shareholders of the company. If you do auditing, you're trying to protect the shareholders or the owners of the company. They would be sure of the state of their finances. They will be so sure. So if you don't audit now, they keep hanging, they keep they keep doubting. They doubt their managers, they doubt their cashiers. So to protect them and help them to be safe, you have to audit the books of accounts so that they be comfortable. Okay. Then also we do auditing so that we keep these client, the clerks, the accountants and the cashiers vigilant regularly. They must be sober. So if you don't do auditing, they relax. They do things carelessly. But once we come in as auditors, we help them to be vigilant. We help them to be sober and also to be prepared to prepare the books the way they are supposed to do it. Then we allow the effectiveness and efficiency of the company's management. And also performance now, they have to perform better. Secondly, if we cannot get money from loans and banks and any other financial institutions unless we have audited accounts. So when you go into a bank, these managers will request you to bring the auditor's report or the audited accounts so that now they be sure that your financial books or your books of accounts are clean. So once your books are very clean, then also the banks will be comfortable to give you loans. But they cannot give you a loan unless they look at your audited accounts. Also, we do auditing to help these tax people, the tax authorities, to be able to assess a proper tax for the company. Because, for example, I told you in the beginning, maybe we are going to look at the ethics, professional ethics of an auditor. The major objective, your objective, that's why we said that you must give us the truthfulness and fairness of the financial position of the firm. Tell us the truth. Because, for example, if you don't tell the truth or if you don't write the truth, when the tax authorities come in, they will either overtax the company or undertax the company, which will be very bad for your client now in this case. So the major purpose why we do auditing is also to enable these tax authorities to charge a proper tax at the end of the day, so that it does not become a burden to our client. That's why you're paid and that's why you're there. Still, the management may consult the auditors. They may seek any other advice which is technical concerning their financial state, concerning their financial position of the company. That's why you're there to advise them, and you're there as a consultant. You're there as a consultant. Among others now, among others, I don't know if you have them, advantages of auditing or importances of auditing, they also should be in your handouts, because at the end of the day, you will be asked to identify the relevancy of auditing or the advantages or the importances. You'll be asked to do so. So make sure you do follow, make sure you get the basics so that now when you're reading your handouts, you can understand it better. Know why you do audit and know your objectives, probably. So that one said and done, I want us to look at the professional ethics of auditors as an auditor. how should you behave? Because lawyers have ethics, doctors have ethics, including teachers. We also have ethics now that guide us morally, moral values of auditors. For example, now, if you're an auditor, first of all, we you to have high levels of integrity. So in integrity, basically, we expect you to be straightforward. We expect you to be honest. So that's why we need to give us that truthfulness of the financial position of the firm, because you've been bribed. So once you're bribed, you're forced to tell lies. You're forced to write false reports, which are not going to help the shareholders of the company or owners of the company. So for that case now, professionally, we expect you to be an integral person, a person of high levels of integrity. You're straightforward, you're open, you're honest, you're sincere in your approach to your audit work. Am I clear? Then secondly, also, you are expected to be professionally independent as an auditor. Auditors don't depend on lies. They don't depend on stories. They don't depend on stories. And still, maybe at some time, I will show you the difference between an investigator and an auditor. If I'm an investigator, for example, police, you can listen to a story. But once you're an auditor, we don't expect you to listen to stories. We don't expect you to listen to stories. In auditing, what we see is what we write. Like in accounting, you're not going to assume figures that maybe he was trying to write a 7, maybe these were 2 million. No, what you see is what you write. So still as auditors professionally, we don't expect you to be influenced by a third party. That is what we call professional independence. It is very fundamental. Actually, it is a fundamental principle of accounting professionals. Be independent. Don't be influenced by any other third party. So that now you may be free to do your work. And at the end of the day, give us a very good opinion. Then besides that, independence means that you're not supposed to be influenced by third parties. For example, suppliers, outsiders, lies from other people within the company. We don't expect you to listen to other information unless you have evidence. Okay, so that is independency. Then also we expect you to be confidential. Confidentiality, because now, for example, the information you acquire during the course of your professional work should not be disclosed. That's what it means, except where there is consent, where the client has agreed to share the information publicly. Because remember, financial reports or financial information is a secret. Finances are secrets. So we don't expect you to disclose your client's information professionally, unless when you are asked to do so, there must be a consent. And that consent must be legal. There must be a legal consent to disclose the information. So we expect you to be confidential. Basically, be secretive. We expect you to have secrets. You don't say anything during your audit exercise as part of your ethics. Then we also expect you to be technically skilled. So during your professional work, we expect you to do it with due care and skill. There must be a skill. You must know the principles of auditing. You must know the principles of accounting. You must know your work. Because, for example, doctor, you cannot start operating a person when you don't have the skill, when you don't have the knowledge, when you don't have really. So it's the same. When we come to auditing, you must be skilled. You must be skilled. You must have you must be informed. And also we expect you to be careful. Be careful during your audit work now. Because we are looking for fairness. Remember, I told you, we are looking for fairness and we are looking for facts. You are not a police now. So we expect you to handle your work with due care. Be careful. make sure that whatever you're doing, there is evidence there to prove your audit work. If cash is missing, there must be evidence, and not stories. Not stories. We don't tell stories, but we must have evidence. We shall see how to collect evidence maybe in the next chapters, how we can collect audit evidence. We shall look at that. Then also, we expect you to be professional, competent. Be competent now. Competence means that you know what you are doing. You are aware of the work you are trying to do throughout your career. You should know what to do as an auditor. That's what it means, competency. And also, we don't expect you as an auditor professional or as part of ethics, we don't expect you to advertise your professional services or your skills. That's why you don't see auditors in newspapers advertising for job. No, we don't expect you to do that. We don't expect you to do that unless if you're sitting for a staff, maybe you want employees, you can advertise, but we don't expect you to advertise as what? As an auditor professionally and ethically. It is not allowed. So basically, those are the professional ethics regarding auditors. I think we are still together. Yeah, we should be together really, because that's why I gave you the whole notes so that you read through. I might not read chapter by chapter, but I'm giving you the basics. I'm giving you the basics so that you can be able to read the whole notes now. I'm not reading chapter by chapter. Okay, so maybe if there is any question so far. No questions, Edina? Did Rashid? Samuel? No questions so far?
No question.
Can I proceed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. So we are together, hopefully. So we said that in our process, during our process of maybe, let's look at planning, 59. Keep online. So once we have the work to do or the audit exercise to do, there is what we call the conduct of an audit. How do you behave? How do you start and how do you end? So once we have the work, we are expected to write what we call an engagement letter. We start with a letter before we start the audit work. I think those letters are there in your handout for the the standard questions now. We expect you to be sober. So be sober. Make sure you're sober, be attentive just for the 2 minutes. We are on air, at least we can grab something. So before we start our audit exercise, we write a letter. So this letter actually is a consent. You're trying to consent with your client. You're trying to agree with your client. In your handout, there are contents of an engagement letter. What should be in the engagement letter? So we expect you to define the scope of work or the coverage of work. Coverage of work. What areas are you going to cover? For example, are you going to audit the financial years, 2 financial years, or are you going to audit 1 financial year? And still you must specify, are you going to audit a balance sheet or income statement? You must be specific. Because at the end of the day, you're liable. You will be liable, you will be accountable. So when you're starting the exercise in your letter, you must agree on the duties to be performed with your client, and also the duties to be performed by the management, including the audit fees. Including the audit fees, you must agree. Maybe before we go there, last time we talked about the difference between internal auditors and external auditors. So we said that if they are internal auditors, for them specifically, they are employed by the management and they are paid salaries, and their scope of work is defined by the management. But if it is external auditor, it means now that they come from outside. For example, Ernst and Young. Then those ones are paid, they are paid fees, and also their scope of work is defined by law. They know what to do by law. Then these internal auditors, for them, they are part of the employees of the company. They register daily. They are part of the company internally. So, and also these internal auditors, for them, they are not independent. They are not independent. Their independence is affected by the management probably, but they are also there. And also they work as consulting department for other departments. They work as consulting departments for other departments. That's why they are there. And still, you cannot have internal auditors if the size of the business is so big. It depends on the size of the business. If the business is too big, we expect you to have internal auditors. Then if your business is not so big, you don't need them. You don't need them. So why are they there, internal auditors, for example? They are there to safeguard the company's fixed assets. That's why they are there. And secondly, they detect and prevent errors and frauds perpetually on a daily basis. That's why they are there. And also they help reduce on the audit of fees for external auditors. Because now why must you bring in external auditors? Probably they normally do it because they are doubting the management. They are not trusting their managers. That's why they do it. That's the major reason why they have to employ external auditors. There is something not going on, but it is not clear and it has not been revealed by the internal auditors. So they must invite external auditors to come in. Probably. I think now there is a clear page inside your handout that is distinguishing between internal auditors and external auditors. So read in details. Then let me rush to the process how we conduct an audit. In the few minutes left, let us discuss the internal audit. Okay. So besides that, now let us continue and look at what we call audit planning. Once you sign the engagement letter now, we expect you to plan. Planning your audit now. Why do you plan for the audit? We've done principles of management now. In principles of management, there is planning, there is controlling, there is leading and organizing. So once we come into auditing now, we expect to use the concept of planning to be able to complete our work. Because accounting, as you know, accounting is bulky. So if accounting is bulky, once you come in as an auditor, we need you to plan. Design a plan. So in the plan, you're going to make the objectives. You're going to outline your objectives now. You're also going to direct and control your work. And also we expect you to work with a team. So organize your team, formulate questionnaires. Then also identify the key risk areas of concentration. We identify them during the audit plan. There must be the pages of audit planning inside there. So agree on the terms of the engagement letter, agree on the type of report you're going to, the timing of the report, check the policies, the accounting policies that are adopted by your client during your audit plan. And also we expect you to learn your client. Learn your client before you plan. Have the knowledge of your client before you do the planning. For example, we expect you to know the client's annual reports, the shareholders. Look through the minutes of the stakeholders. Read the minutes of the board of directors. Check the internal financial management of your client and still know the type of business your client is doing. Is it a hardware? Is it a bank? Is it a hospital? Get to know your client before you start auditing. Understand the nature of his business. So visit your client's premises and plants to get the information. Make sure that you visit them. Visit them before you start auditing and get to know them better. So this will help you to do your auditing properly. Then if there are changes in the management, you can ask them. If there are changes in the organizational structure, you can ask them. Then still, if there are current government regulations affecting the client, still you can identify them during your audit plan. So how do we conduct an audit in a summary? First of all, step one, we expect you to appoint the auditor, appointment of the auditor. So who appoints the auditor? Auditors are appointed by the shareholders of the company. That is step one. How do you conduct an audit? If you're going to do an audit exercise, how are you going to go about it? Step one, appoint an auditor. Who appoints the auditor? This is the shareholder or the owners of the company. They have a duty to do that. Then step two, communicate with the previous auditor who audited the previous financial year. If this is a current financial year now, but you must communicate with the auditor who did the auditing of the last financial year. We expect you to do that. Then step three, write an engagement letter. We've talked about the engagement letter. Then I expect you to read the engagement letter in its details. It is inside there, it has content, so get to understand it better. Then step four, we expect you to invest a relevant internal control system. Maybe next time we shall discuss the internal control systems properly. What is an internal control system? We shall look at it. Maybe if time allows, we can summarize it. Then also evaluate the operation of the internal control system. Is it working properly or it is not working properly? What systems are inside there put by the management? These are systems put by the management to make sure that work is done effectively and efficiently. So we expect you to evaluate them and also apply some relevant tests. You can test them and see that they are either working or they are not working properly. Then ensure the correctness of the accounting records and final accounts. Is your client preparing the books of accounts in a correct manner according to accounting policies and procedures? Check that. Do your audit exercise. Then also review your findings and also make an opinion. Review your findings, because remember, you have a team, you're not alone. So if you're not alone, we expect you to sit together and review your findings before you write a final report. Then finally, we expect you to prepare a report, audit report, and you submit to the members of the company. So inside your handout, there are types of audit reports. Maybe we shall look at them next time, but they are also there. They are there. They are there, types of audit reports. Hopefully you've looked at them. I know. They are there. So that is the process. That is how we conduct an audit. That's how we go about it. Move into the details of your notes and examine it critically. There's also what you call a procedure. Apart from the conduct, there is also what you call an audit procedure. So you plan, you control, make a team, supervise them, review their work. That is a procedure now. Check the accounting systems. Then also obtain the audit evidence. We shall see how to obtain the audit evidence. That is an independent topic. Then when we are doing the audit testing, we calculate, we do watching, we do verification and reporting. Maybe those words are introduced to them. And also now there is also together members and respond. Let us respond. Edina, bit 5. Okay, thank you. So when we are doing the audit exercise, we are expected to keep files as auditors. That is by law. Remember, we studied accounting standards, accounting policies, accounting procedures. So by law or by standard, when you are doing the audit work, we are expected to keep audit files. And these files majorly are two. There are two files we keep. Because when you're doing your work, we expect you to keep documents. Now you must have documents. So we expect you, we have two files. There's what we call a permanent audit file and a current audit file. So normally in our examination, we normally ask the contents of the permanent audit file and the contents of current audit files. So hopefully they are inside your handout. I don't know if you're reading. So these audit files now, what do we keep in the permanent audit file? For example, legal documents like memorandum of association and articles of association. You must acquire these documents before you do your audit work. You must have photocopies of them and put them on file. Then also details relating to the nature of the business. Is it a hard details that are relating to the nature of the business, and you keep a copy in your permanent audit file as an auditor. Then also in the permanent audit file, we must keep there an organizational plan or an organizational chart that shows the duties and authorities of various officials of the company. You must have an organizational plan or an organizational chart in your file. You must request for the copy of a file from the management and keep it in your file. Also, we need copies. You must keep copies of important agreements and minutes. For example, you must have the minutes of the board meeting. Maybe you make a photocopy, keep it in your file, and also the title deeds, if they are there, showing the fixed assets of the company. They must be kept in the permanent audit file, and also a copy of an engagement letter, includes financial statements which were audited. They also must be in your file, probably a permanent audit file. Then also we have a current audit file. So what do you have to keep in the current audit file? A copy of final accounts of the respective year, complete internal control questionnaires, audit programs and audit timetables, all relevant schedules fixed, matters brought forward from the previous auditor. All those ones must be kept in the current audit file. So you must check out whatever I'm speaking and is not in your handout, then you must alarm me. I must get alarm. So make sure you do always have a notebook, because whatever I talk on air or whatever I'm trying to discuss, I think will be examined. And if it is supposed to be examined, I expect you to be attentive and cooperate. But don't say I did not have it in the handout, because you've had it on air. I expect you to expand on it when it is time for exam. You can also Google and expand on it if it is not in your handout. I expect you to know it. It has to be part of you, because those notes were done, not in they were done, but time was not enough. So to exhaust it and put everything there that is supposed to be inside there. So do we have questions? Didi Rashid, I don't see him. Edina, are you still on? Members?
I'm on.
So can we have questions? Viola? Samuel? On and off. Can I get feedback? Can we have questions so that we conclude the meeting?
I don't have a question, but it's only the network which is disturbing me.
Which network?
I'm just picking little.
My network or your network?
Maybe for internet.
Mine?
It can be main,
I have
but I missed it.
I have network. So how is it so far?
I missed. Now it is okay.
So are we going to succeed or we use another method? Because this is
Maybe
survival for the fittest, really. We have to finish the course. Besides COVID, we have to get done really.
It's another method is there.
Which method now? Which method are you suggesting? We wait after COVID. We don't know whether it will end, whether it will not end.
We shall just continue.
We continue. No, put another method.
The notes about errors, I'm not seeing them.
You're not seeing them, but now I expect you to Google and expand on them.
maybe we can. Are we going to get
Maybe some questions, research question, not just error.
Yeah, so I will prepare questions, then maybe you'll get also revision questions before we sit for our tests. I'm going to prepare revision questions, then we shall have questions for revision that will enable us move through our handouts.
Okay.
So, madam,
Yes.
are we going to have the test online or what?
So we are still discussing. Even this one is a step we should thank God.
Yeah, because I heard that.
Yeah.
Because I heard that this Muse has already added some 42 days.
Yeah, of course.
No, we are remaining with 38.
But we shall. So when we come back, if it is all well, we shall do exams. We shall do the necessity. We cannot go back now through the semester.
Okay, that's also good.
So we shall see
But
the
I
way
read
forward.
something about controlling systems. I don't know whether we have them in the handouts.
Internal control systems.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they there? There is internal control. Is it there?
Yeah, internal control is there and external.
They are there. Yeah, they are there.
They are there, I know.
Okay.
They are there.
So, did I talk internal control system? Probably. I've not talked about it. Maybe we start with it next Tuesday.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's start with internal control systems for the sake of MBs.
Okay.
So I wish you the best.
Okay, inshallah. You too.
Okay, fine. Can I end the meeting?
Please.
Okay.
Please, madam.
Okay. Bye.
Hello. Can I have your contact?
He should go in the group and inbox.
Yes, that is true.
You tell him to go in the group and inbox.
And by the way,
who is that?
Somewhere.
Admin.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Don't ask
I'm asking for your contact.
Who is this?
Asking your contact.
The admin.
Why do you want my contact now?
Madam, he should go in the group.
For communication.
Do you have a question?
Don't give him your number.
Or he's going to buy chips.
Yeah.
The number is in the group. Are you in the group?
By the way.
Yeah, it is there. So we call it a day?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
evening. Good evening. And all right.
Take care.
Sanitize.
Well, I should take care.
You told
in Congo. How are you?
I'm good. I'm safe.
That's good. You are safe.
Everything.
I can see with
Eddie, don't start. Please. Ananga was waiting for us. Have you seen her?
Who?
Mureka kundira
Rose.
data by.
Viola,
Rosie.
stop.
We Viola
Data.
tugabane.
Just
Viola you
Yeah,
on
wait.
tugabane.
Rose is not
you're
online.
sending my data. Bye. You're
Viola
sending
you
my
are on
data.
tugabane, please. Viola you are using tugabane.
Edian. Edian.
This
Who's
is
going to Gabane?
me.
Bye.
Yes, you.
Where do I work?
That's not fair, please.
Mwana goto swanga ko. I put you on tugabane.
Why not?
Maybe I go and steal.
Anyway, bye. My data is going.
I know you have even learned. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.